Hey, Carrie. What golf course is that?
That is Kapalua.
Is that your favorite course?
That's the only course I had picture of. No, that's we went there
Nice.
for my cousin's wedding.
Ah,
So since I was there.
very nice. Hi, Alice.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. Hey, Jason.
Good morning.
Are you going to Hawaii on the Hill?
I am not. When is that?
Next, I think 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Manu.
Good morning.
Hawaii gas 120 years? Really?
Yes, this year will mark 120 years in August.
Wow.
Yeah,
Didn't
very
realize
exciting.
that. Yeah.
Very exciting time for sure.
Okay, so we have
Yeah,
people are starting to come in.
Minute.
I have 929 share, but people are still coming in.
Yeah, so give them another two.
Yeah. The deputy AG is already there in the room with you, Chair?
Yeah, I got Adam Rosenberg from the AG's office.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, Rona. Aloha. And Clinton too. Trying to say, Robert, what time is it there?
Morning.
It is 4:30 out here in Japan.
Wow.
Ooh, early.
You don't look bleary-eyed at all.
I've been up for 10 minutes.
All right, I've got 9:30. We're going to be doing roll call a little bit, so hopefully those will be joining in the interim there. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining today's WDC quarterly board meeting. We have a pretty full agenda today, so I'd like to call our meeting to order at 9:31 a.m. First, a few housekeeping items. This is a public meeting under the Open Meetings Law. Some of the board members and public guests are viewing in Zoom, and we have some members and staff at the DLIR offices at 830 Punchbowl Street, room 310, on the Hawaii 96813. In case other members and guests wish to meet at an on-site location, to start the meeting and to document in the minutes, I will do a roll call of the council members. Under the Sunshine Law, a quorum of members must keep their cameras turned on during the entire public meeting or be present in person. If you do leave the meeting prior to adjournment, you must inform us so we can take a recess and establish quorum. Thank you for your kind understanding of these protocols. And if for some reason we do have trouble with our video audio feed, we'll take a recess until the connection is reestablished. Okay, and the members who are attending online, if there's anyone else in the room with you, please also say the name of that person as well. So start the roll call. I'm going to do from the top. That's me. Okay, Manu Bermudez.
Good morning, present.
Thank you, Manu. Jason Brown.
Present.
Eileen Caldwell.
Not here, Chair.
Okay, Cheryl Cross. Here is it. Keith DeMello. Present. Yes. Rona Fukumoto.
Present.
Rona. Shelley Hori.
Present.
Shelley. Derek Kanahira.
Present.
Sean Knox, saw him.
Good morning, aloha.
Sean, Robert Linsky,
Here.
you. Ron Malone,
Not able to attend.
understood. Carrie Miyashiro,
Here,
Carrie, Kelly Ueoka,
Unable to attend, Chair.
Jason Chang,
Here.
Rosella Gadasio,
Present, thank you.
Jackie Kaina, Leslie Wilkins, good to see you. Scott Collins.
Present.
Thank you, Scott. Dion Dizon.
Present.
Thank you. That was Dion? Dion. Dion, thank you. Carla Kurkawa. She was on the first. Thank you, Carla. Tui Scanlon.
Traveling.
Lauren Wu.
Here.
Thank you, Lauren. Stanley Chang. Andrew Garrett. Okay, representing the mayors. Mahi Luana. Or Luana Mahi, excuse me. No. Andy Kawano. Nalani Brun.
Present.
Thank you, Nalani. Doug Adams.
Present.
Thank you, Doug. Representing the governor, Blake Oshiro. Representing Director Utai, David Rodriguez.
Present.
Yeah. Representing Kitayashi, Dan Miyamoto.
Chair, you missed Leah Diaz.
Oh, thank you very much, Leah Diaz.
Leah Diaz here.
Leah, thank you, Leah.
Mhm.
Della Taroka, representing UH President David Lassner. Okay, finally, Alice Minor, representing James Tokioka.
Present.
One, two, three, four.
Someone joined a little bit late.
Chair, this is Cheryl Cross. I'm present.
Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, was someone taking a tally? I believe we have more than the 60.
24.
24, thank you, thank you. And that's. Okay, do we have any other guests with us today that haven't been introduced? If so, please.
Good morning, Chair Chantel Rowland, Executive Director for Maui County Workforce Development Board.
Thank you, Chantal.
Good morning, Chair. Clinton Mercado here from the Hawaii County. I'm the Interim Executive Director for the Hawaii County Workforce Development Board.
Yeah, thank you, Clinton.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. This is Matt Stevens, Executive Director with the Hawaii Workforce Funders Collaborative.
Thank you, Matt.
Good morning,
morning,
this
Chair.
is Matt Wong. Sorry, I'll go real quick. Matt Wong, Vice Principal of the Waipahu Community School for Adults.
All right, thank you. Another Matt.
Good morning, Chair. This is Anthony Crouch with the U.S. Department of Labor.
Thank you, Anthony, for joining us today from DOL. Okay, continuing on. Per the Workforce Development Bylaws, Article 5, Section 7, and under HRS 92-15 and HRS 202-1, until such time the council has 41 members, 16 council members shall constitute a quorum to do business, and the concurrence of at least 16 council members shall be necessary to make any of the council valid. As I heard it, do we now have 25 with Cheryl Bennett, or is it
26 with Cheryl.
Okay, all right. We now have 26 council members present today, and we confirm we have a quorum. The first item of business is the approval of minutes. Please review the minutes from our last meeting on February 15, 2024. It was distributed with the meeting packets on May 22nd. Give you a couple of minutes to review, and we'll entertain a motion to approve when you are ready.
Chair, this is Cheryl Cross. I've reviewed the minutes. I make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Cheryl. May I have a second?
Second, Jason.
Jason, thank you for a second. Are there any amendments or discussion regarding the minutes? Okay, we're gonna do a little bit different here. Are there any no or abstentions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Minutes have been approved. Moving on to the executive director's report. On your agenda, the next item is the executive director's report. Annette Lucia will present her updates from the February 16th, 2024 to May 30th, 2024 period. Go ahead, Annette.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you. I woke up this morning and actually it occurred to me that it's been a year. I joined the organization a year ago in May. So I just wanted to say that it's been an honor and a privilege to be part of WDC. I want to express my gratitude to our chair, Ken Louie, for his support and for the board members for your continued guidance and friendship and aloha. It really, I'm mindful of the fact that you have a choice as far as where to spend your time volunteering. So I'm grateful for the passion that you have, for the dedication and commitment. So happy anniversary to us. Okay, so let me now tackle the highlights of the WDC activities for this month. So apologies to those who may have heard some of the details of this because I usually attend our committee meetings and I go over some of these issues or topics. So for everyone's edification, so I'd like to kind of share my slide now. Okay, are you able to see it?
Yes.
Okay, so first, we have had some, hang on, let's see if I can bring this down. Okay, hang on a second, it's not working. Okay, so first of all, as you probably are aware, we have had some staffing changes since February. As many of you know, Jacqueline Lodge, our very efficient executive assistant, left WDC sometime in April. So she's been an invaluable resource, as many of you can attest, and during her time here. So we started the process of finding her replacement, and we did cast a wide net, but unfortunately, to date, we have not yet found someone with her qualifications and work experience. So the process is still continuing. In the interim, however, we have Katrina Ramos, who has been on temporary loan from WDD, Mahalo WDD. She has been providing administrative support, particularly as we prepared for this quarterly board meeting. So mahalo, Katrina. So we've also had some changes at the county level. So at the Hawaii County Workforce Development Board, particularly in the role of the executive director, Sherry Ann Cacho tendered her resignation in April, and Clinton Mercado has been appointed by the county as the interim executive director. So Clinton is here, and I'd like to offer him a minute or two to say aloha. So I'm gonna stop sharing and give Clinton an opportunity.
Mahalo, Bennett. Mahalo, Bennett. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Clinton Mercado. I'm the interim executive director here in Hawaii, Hawaii County. Born and raised here in Hawaii. I bring to the team close to maybe 30 years of work and of experience in the work and excuse me, business industry. I recently came from the Hawaii County Planning Department, where I served as the land use planner to the Windward and Leeward Planning Commission Board. So happy to be part of the R&D team here under Douglas Adam, and looking forward to working alongside you all in the workforce development program. So thank you.
Thank you, Clinton. So I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, so hopefully you got that. Okay. All right, so the next item on my report is the board approval of the state unified plan. So if you recall, during the last board meeting in February, we provided you an update on what to expect. So on your packets, you can turn to page 18 if you want to follow the presentation. So as required, the state unified plan was submitted to the U.S. Department of Labor on March 4th, and it went through a process of federal review. So the panel returned with some questions and recommendations, and we sent back the responses on April 30th. So we anticipate the final approval anytime now because the feds did say that they wanted to have the process completed by June 1st. So we would like to thank our WIOA partners, WDD for Title I and III, Adult Ed for Title II, and DVR for Title IV for their collaboration. And without them, we would not have been able to complete this big task. So why is the state involved or the state board involved? So according to Section 101, the state board is responsible for the development, implementation, and modification of the state plan. So I want to emphasize that development, implementation, and modification of the state plan, not just the development, mind you. It's also about implementation. So because of the timing, the opportunity, this is the first opportunity for the board to approve the plan because if you recall, we had our meeting in February, it was still in the process of being completed. So I will be turning over the floor to Chair Louie in a moment for board action. But before I do, I just wanted to go over some broad strokes on the plan to ensure that everybody has had an opportunity to understand about the plan and be familiar with the plan before they actually vote. So if you recall, the plan was presented to the board during a special meeting on January 23rd. In addition, we also presented to 4 other WDC committees. There was an outreach effort, and between the months of January and March, we reached out to about 20 community organizations for community feedback. So a copy of the draft plan can be accessed through the WDC website. So the plan provides an overview of the state vision, mission, and goals for workforce development. We also have 4 pillars, and I hope in time you also would be very conversant with this. The 4 pillars are alignment with economic growth, prioritizing services to vulnerable populations, particularly those with barriers to employment, building strong alliances with our training and education stakeholders, and creating synergy amongst those who seek to improve workforce development in the state. So after the board approves this plan, so what's going to happen is that the feds also approve the plan, and then it then goes to the governor for his final sign off. So for next steps, as we mentioned, the WDC is federally mandated to implement the plan. So we would like this to be a plan that's not going to sit in a shelf gathering dust, but really for the next 4 years, something that would map out our course of action. So we intend to create a dashboard that will monitor performance and hopefully create coordinating committees in the state to oversee and deliver on the promise of the plan. So mind you, even as we complete the process, 2026 is not far off. That's the time when we're going to have the modification of the plan, and we intend to start the process early. So at this point, Chair, I'd like to turn over the floor to you so that you can preside over the board approval process. And I'm going to stop sharing the PowerPoint at this juncture.
Thank you. Thank you, Benet, and thank you for all the stakeholders that participated in the preparation of the plan. One of the more most important documents that the council undertakes. Fortunately, you'd only do it every 4 years with the update every 2 years. So thank you again. Okay, at this point, I'd like to entertain a motion for the WDC board to approve the 2024 through 2028 state unified plan. May I have the first motion? Thank you, Dion. And a second.
Second, Tui Scanlon.
Thank you, Tui, for joining. Also, point of note, we also have Bella Toroka, who just joined us and sitting next to me present here, representing UA President David Lassner. Okay, are there any noes or abstentions from the members? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, let the record reflect it was unanimous. Thank you, Bennett. I will turn it back to you for the rest of your executive director's report.
Right, Chair, thank you. Okay, so we have also other activities. So we're now on page 19 of the board packet for those of you who are following along. One of the efforts that we have is to strengthen the committees, and we have had changes in leadership. So we want to, it really gives me great pleasure to announce the changes in community or committee leadership. So for Youth Services Committee, Tui Scanlon is the new chair, and the vice chair is Carla Kurokawa. For Sector Partnership and Career Pathways Committee, we have a new vice chair, and of course the chair is Carrie Mishiro. The new vice chair is Lorna Wu. So I also would like to report that we are in the process of strengthening our working relationship with the local workforce development boards on Maui, Hawaii County, and of course, Oahu. The executive directors are joined at the hip. We are meeting on a regular basis, and we're primed to collaborate on to make sure that we have alignment and practice good board governance. On that slide is a list of the community outreach and special projects that we've been involved with. One is the Hawaii Long-Term Care Summit, which in fact, I want to thank publicly Queens and Jason Chang for hosting and being the venue, Queens being the venue for this long-term care summit. It was a very important summit and brought together stakeholders. Now there's going to be a plan for to make sure that we take care of our kupunas, and workforce development is going to be very important and key actually, because without the caregivers, where would we be? We also were involved in the Hawaii Summit on Employment First. In fact, Leah Diaz was there as well. We participated, this is our second time to participate in the Las Vegas Hawaii Business Summit, which brought together businesses from Hawaii and Las Vegas to explore opportunities for economic growth. Last but not least, I wanted to share with you that we have some future activities. I cannot emphasize to you enough that we need you folks, our council members, to be there for the board training on June 24th. That's a Monday from 7:30 to 4 o'clock. And this is for all state board and local boards. And I know that your executive directors have been talking about it. So please make sure that you're there. We are putting forth on the agenda the WAIOA, as well as ethics, as well as sunshine law. For July 2nd, we have a National Governors Association webinar on national workforce trends. This is the second year that we are doing this, and the date has been set for July 2nd at 9 a.m. We'll be sending you an invite for that as well. In addition, in collaboration with the Youth Services Committee, we have a forthcoming webinar for Justice Challenge Youth that is being scheduled for August. This will be in collaboration with the state of Maine, so more details to follow. Last but not least, just putting it on planting a seed that September is Workforce Development Month, and we will have more information on the activities that are being planned for this time. Does anyone have questions or comments? And if not, Mr. Chair, back to you.
Thank you, Bennett.
Excuse me, Chair, this is
Sure.
Leah. I have a
This
quick
is-
question for Bennett.
Yes.
Hi, Bennett. So the June 24th training, can I just clarify, it's just one day?
Yes, so for those that are for Oahu, it's 1 day, but then for the neighbor islands, there will be a follow-up because there are additional training that may need to be tackled. So we're in the process of finalizing the curriculum for that, for the neighbor islands. And we will be providing that information to the ED for them to distribute to your respective members.
Thank you. And the June 24th training on Oahu, we don't know where that is yet.
Oh, it's at the state capitol.
State
State Capitol Auditorium, yeah.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Great. Thank you for your questions, Leah, and thank you for that. The next item on the agenda is the 2024 supplemental budget bill impact to the Workforce Development Council. This is on page 21 of your board packet. During this past legislative session, we are grateful that in the 2024 budget, there were provisions that pertain to the WDC. Bennett will go over those details here shortly. The reason why we're sharing this information now rather than at the next board meeting is a matter of timing, because we needed to share the information with you today because our next board meeting will be on August 22nd. And since the budget cycle starts July 1st, it would be a bit late if we do not tackle it our next board meeting. Okay, Bennett, why don't you go over the details of the budget?
Okay, thank you, Chair. Just wanted to make sure we understand the state budget was passed in May before the legislature adjourned. However, the process is really not yet complete. So technically, the governor has the prerogative to do a line item veto on anything in the budget. So the deadline for the governor to do that is to tell the legislature about his veto list is June 25th. So, but as Chair mentioned, we're going over it right now because it would be too late for the next board meeting, which is August 22. So in your packet, council members, on page 22 to 26, I'm gonna give you a moment to take a look at that. So we have a copy of the budget worksheets, which are relevant to WDC. So we have first the reinstatement of the WDC program ID. So now it's LBR 135. That's on page 23. We also have on page 24 to 25, you'll see the details. So the legislature allotted almost $7 million. So it's broken down to 425,000 from A funds or state funds, and 6.5 million from federal funds, which is actually a placeholder. It can vary, it can vary from 6.5 to like 10 million for WIOA funds. So the third impact is that we are now provided with 7 FTEs, including my position. So in essence, 3 fiscal related, 3 program related, and then 1 executive director for a total of 7. So we will be working collaboratively with WDD and the Administrative Services Office or ASO to ensure a smooth transition. But also we will be enlisting the U.S. Department of Labor for some technical assistance during the transition process. But I want to manage expectations. The FTEs that were given to us are civil service, and civil service onboarding normally takes 6 to 9 months. So, the transition may take even a year. So again, I wanted to manage expectations. We can't really hit the ground running unless we have a full, force we have a full complement of folks who are going to be taken on the task and the roles and responsibilities. So I'm grateful for WDD because they're going to be helping us along until such time that we're fully staffed. Does anyone have questions at this juncture? Anyone?
Question from Cheryl?
Hi, you have quite a few HR recruiting and people that are here to support you. What might we do to support you finding folks, or are we relying on the city, state, county resources, HireNet to put out the word? What can we do to help you?
Yeah, there's a protocol. We can offline the discussion, but I'm very grateful for reaching out and offering your support. Definitely, we can, more 2 heads, 3 heads are better than 1. But I will be reaching out to those of you who have HR backgrounds, particularly since we're going to be defining and mapping out job descriptions for the program side. The fiscal side is pretty much set. It's existing and it's just being transferred. Their salaries are just being charged to LBR 135. But the program part is the one where we're seeking the guidance of other states as well to establish best practice, because we want to be able to create a team that would really be fully functional and equipped with the skill sets that we need in order to move forward and create a robust organization. But I appreciate your offer of help. And I know, I think Shelley is HR as well, right? Who else is HR?
Manu,
Oh,
Derek?
Marcella, Derek, yeah. So there's a whole complement of you. So thank you, and Manu as well. So I'll be reaching out, definitely. I need your guidance for this one.
Great. Are there any other questions?
But
Okay.
Chair, I am looking for an assistant to replace Jackie. So hopefully within this, enclave of folks, maybe somebody who might be able to, we might be able to tap for that skill sets.
Sure. Well, for anyone and everyone we know, you'll find. Well, thank you for the report. And then the next item is the recertification of local workforce development boards.
Okay.
It's on page 26 of your packet. And as a background, the Code of Federal Regulations, CFR, requires that the state board fulfill this role every 2 years. Note that we will be voting on each of the local boards certification, and we hope you had a chance to review the materials provided. I will now have Vanette provide an overview and then present each of the local board's credentials for your consideration. And as introduced earlier, we also have on Zoom Anthony Crouch from the U.S. Department of Labor, who is our federal monitor. He will be available in case we have questions on the more technical aspects of the certification process. Thank you, Anthony, for joining us today. Go ahead, Vanette.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Chair. So allow me first to give you an overview of the 3 criteria in evaluating the local boards. Again, please refer to the pages that was mentioned, I think starting from page 26. So that's a very thick packet for each of the local boards. So in those documents, you'll find that there are 3 criteria. One is board composition. Second criteria is sustained financial integrity. And the 3rd criteria is sustained performance. So I'd like to report that Oahu, Maui, and Hawaii County local boards passed the standards on board composition and financial integrity. So I think somebody from ASO, Francis Kagawa, was able to attest to that. Now, Maui and Hawaii County, however, did have some performance challenges, and we had asked them for a remedial plan, which is attached to your packet. So with a renewed focus, and we're confident that these performance matrices will be achieved. So in conclusion, Chair, I'd like to recommend approval of the Oahu, Maui, and Hawaii County recertification. I also would like to mahalo Kelly Ueoka, Keith DeMello, and Rona Fukumoto, who assisted early on in the evaluation process. So I'd like to turn the table over to, or the time to Chair Louis for board action.
Okay, first, I'll just say answer any questions anyone may have.
I have a question, Chair.
Yes, go ahead, David.
I'm kind of new here, so I'm trying to understand.
Can everyone hear David? If not, I can move the mic.
David Rodriguez. The performance measures by Maui County, it wasn't explained why. I mean, there's an obvious one, but.
Sure, go ahead.
Also, our executive director, Chantal Rowland, is on virtual. So our service provider was short-staffed for much of the period of time. We have a lot of out-migration going on Maui, as you can only imagine. It's very tragic. And so not only is it hard for most all employers right now who are short-staffed, but particularly our providers who are supposed to help with. So I think that we just recompeted our contracts for all three, for dislocated worker, adult worker, and youth services, and goodwill. That the criterion was selected by the selection committee, and one of their biggest things that we put on them is to maintain full staffing on their part, because without full staffing, you don't have the outreach providers that we need to serve more. So that Chantal, would you don't mind, Chair? Chantal, would you like to add to that?
Chair Leslie, sorry, say that again.
Would you like to add to who was asking?
Yes. So in addition to that, in our packet, we included a flow chart. The performance measures that Bennett had mentioned. So second quarter after employment, second quarter after exit, fourth quarter after exit, median earnings, credential, and measurable skills gain. We were finding that staff, of course, during that transition weren't capturing measurable skills gains or credentials, or they weren't sure of how to. And so part of our remedial plan was creating this flow chart to ensure that we are capturing that data and inputting it into HireNet. And so you'll see that in the packet that was included. We did receive training from Anthony and his staff back in December. So that was very helpful, and ensuring that, with the staffing that we have on Maui, we are all fully staffed, that we will see an increase in our performance measures.
Thank you. I'd like to see that only because what's going on with Maui.
Sure.
Thanks.
Understood. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your responses, Leslie and Chantal. Any other questions from the group? Okay, I'd like to start with the recertification of Oahu, and I'd like to entertain a motion to recertify Oahu Workforce Development Board. I need a motion to approve.
Tui Scanlon, so move.
Thank you, Tui.
Karen said,
Karen, was that a second?
yes.
Thank you. Are there any amendments or discussions? Okay, are there any members wishing to vote no or abstentions? Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Record reflected, the vote was unanimous.
If they ask question about ours, you can answer or let me answer.
Clinton, was that a question? Okay, moving on to, I'd like to entertain a motion to recertify Maui. We just had some discussion on that.
Rosella, so move.
Thank you. Second.
Second, Jason.
Thank you, Jason. Okay, are there anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Hearing none, are all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you again, vote unanimous. Moving on to the Hawaii County Workforce Development Board, and the motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, I'll do it.
I think we
Bella.
Jason Brand to initial motion, and Keith Mello second. Okay, are there any discussion? And any members wishing to vote no or abstain? Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay, that was unanimous. Okay, thank you very much for that. Next item is the update on program funds for 2022 and 2023. For this, we will now hear an update from Maricar Logan Freitas on the status of the program funds for 2022 and 2023.
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say thank you very much for your patience in awaiting me to show up. I am in LA currently for the big film and TV national contract negotiations, and I have to go back into the room. So I just wanted to say thank you for your patience, but I need to run.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tui. Chair, you might want to take a moment to, thank you, Tui. There are people who have joined in the room and we need to acknowledge their presence, not necessarily board members.
Okay, starting with anyone that joined online since the roll call. I think I did recognize that Zeroka. She joined here. Tui announced his attendance and departure. I think we do.
Eric Pasqua, Carol. Go ahead. We're noting guests as well, so
yes,
please introduce yourselves even if you're not a council member.
Hi, I'll start. I'm Carol Kanayama, Workforce Development Division, Program Specialist. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Eric Pasqua here with the Workforce Development Division 2, Oahu Branch Manager.
Thank you. Thank you, Bennett, for noting those attendees. Anyone else?
Sorry, I didn't introduce myself earlier. Kevin Aki Jr. with the County of Hawaii, alongside with Clinton, serving with the Hawaii County Workforce Development Board.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hi, aloha. Sorry, didn't get a chance either earlier, but Mark Menard with the American Job Center Oahu, along with Nisa Tokunaga with the youth program.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, let's see. I mentioned this information that Maricar is going to share with us on page 75. The funds are intended for adult dislocated workers, rapid response, and youth for Oahu, Maui, Big Island, and Hawaii. Important information is the cycle date ends on June 30th, 2024. Funds are so away. And in terms of timing, we need to address this part of the agenda now rather than at the next board meeting. So Maricar, why don't you go ahead, if you want to come up here. I think it might be easier to hear you if that's okay. We'll give you the mic.
Yeah, she might need to be on your seat, Chair. So for the benefit of those who are on Zoom, it's much easier if they can see her. So you might want to switch seats with her.
Good morning, everyone. So let's see, PY 22, we're talking about PY 22. So normally each local area, the 85% that's passed on to the local area, they have 2 years to expend those funds. Anything that they don't expend at the closeout period reverts back for statewide activities. And of course, those funds either have to be procured if it's going to a private sector, or if it goes to a government entity, then there's exemptions for those funds to pass through to government entities. And in addition, those funds have to meet the criteria of the federal regulations, for those funds to be expended. So, right now for PY 22, we are anticipating 555, I think was the last, amount that we received from fiscal office yesterday. So the good news is, we're hoping those will be zeroed out by the time we submit our closeout report to U.S. Department of Labor. So those funds, will benefit 200 youth statewide to provide them with work-based learning activities and financial literacy. So it's for 6 to 8 weeks. And they've been busily recruiting the Workforce Development Division staff on every island to provide youth with the opportunity. And then hopefully you'll be able to join us at the end of the 6 to 8 weeks period to celebrate their accomplishment. And some of the stories on the youth is really, really moving. So we invite you and we'll share you with the information on when that will occur. So the PY23, the PY23 funds that started in July 1, 2023, that are intended to close out next year. So that's a little bit more larger, should I say. So we will be, I guess, brainstorming on what activities can be used for those funds. Any questions?
Hi, Maricar, this is Cheryl Cross. When you say brainstorming, what forums and how will the workforce development committees and council be involved in that?
I think there's a special committee that the board have. I'll defer to Bennett on that. So ultimately, those ideas can be brainstormed, but then the grantee, which is the director, will determine whether or not those funding will be allocated to those projects.
I have a question, Chair. Maricar, I'm just kind of concerned why the local areas seem to be spending very little from their allotments. I'm looking at the percentage you're expended. They're all less than 50%.
Correct.
And then you can leave a lot of money on the table. Are we helping people?
So we rely, I guess all the representatives from the local area can respond to that question. But from the workforce development perspective, which we contract, and we're also responsible for annually monitoring these grants and the influx, correct me, local areas, they've been brainstorming on how to get participants in the door. And most of the cost really is towards training. And the Good Jobs Challenge, which is offering free tuition, less stricter on the eligibility requirements to attend those trainings. So that's one factor that we have attributed to this, but I can't respond to that. I'll have to rely on Hawaii, Maui, and Oahu to provide why those funds are not being spent in the local areas.
I will just.
Sure.
I'll just reiterate what I said before. Our contracted service provider was not fully staffed for much of it and had a lot of turnover when they did hire because there's such a shortage of workers in the private sector as well as in our public sector. I think our county has 600 plus openings right now in the county alone for critical jobs. So, and then when you onboard, as Bob already said, when our service provider, which is Goodwill, did hire someone else, then there is a learning curve for the training of them to actually perform at peak performance. If you don't mind, Chantel, would you like to add to that? Please.
Yep, and then of course, our recovery efforts with our fire, our survivors are at the beginning, of course, they were just focused on their basic needs, survival needs, and not looking for training or employment. I can tell you that with our mental health workshops that we are offering to our service providers and our job seekers, you know, Maui is starting to look up. Like Leslie said, it's been a learning curve for everyone. We've never been in this situation. But we are aggressively, actively outreaching to any job seeker, any individuals looking to upskill their training to enroll in our program. And so we can continue to spend on our funds. But we did have to be sensitive to our fire survivors who were just focused on meeting their basic needs right at that moment.
Well, just to clarify, this PY 2022, these are 2020 grantees.
2020 PY July 1st, 2022. So those were
okay. So these are not, because I know you said 2 years to spend down. I only brought it up because with the Native Hawaiian Education Council, the grantees who were in the 2020 grantees have all asked for extensions because of the time period that, you know, that they got the monies and couldn't really do anything with it. Not anything, but I was just wondering if that was similarly, if that could have been a factor.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Sean. Any comments from the other local boards? I think we have Harrison from here, from Oahu, or?
I think it doesn't dictate what we spend, as we owe the reimbursement. So one of our issues was we don't have a completed IFA MOU. So our rent's not being reimbursed, our CAM's not being reimbursed. So the city of Oahu actually spent a lot more than what's issued on this piece of paper. But we just haven't been reimbursed for not having an IFA MOU that was current. As far as training goes, we did have a bad year, PY 20. I think last year we had like 15 participants in dislocated worker, I think 11 or so in youth, and I think it was like 70 in adult. But for this particular program year, we've actually corrected some of the, expenditures that we had here. But also part of it is by not having an IFA MOU, none of our budget mods have been approved. So we've been requesting budget modifications for the last 2 years, and that hasn't been approved because we don't have the IFA MOU. And I think that dictates why our expenditures, because again, kind of like what Dion just said earlier, this budget was written like 2 or 3 years ago, and that's the budget that we have to stick by currently until we get an approved IFA MOU. We have 4 organizations left that haven't signed it. It's DVR, DHS, Second Chance Act, and the block grant. And that's what's kind of prohibiting us from spending a little bit more of our funds.
Thank you, Harrison. Hope we can get that agreement in place quickly.
Chair, should I just comment on that?
Sure.
Just for the board's clarification, the reports that we provide are based on accruals. So it's not on amount of funds reimbursed. So those accruals are required to be reported by each local area. And in addition to just classroom training, part of the WIOA funds can be used for on-the-job training, which is really, we'd like to emphasize that given the workforce shortage that employers are experiencing. So the on-the-job training provides up to 50% of reimbursement for the wages that's for the downtime or the extraordinary time for training the new employees. So I know that most of you are private sector employers, so you can take advantage of that in promoting it to employers that these funds can be used not only on classroom training, but to provide on-the-job training to help upskill the current workforce.
Right. Thank you, America. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity and I think up to us to spread the word of all of the services that the local boards provide. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item, which is board approval of the Hawaii State definition of basic skills deficient. And we're on page 78 to 87. Yes, go ahead, Bennett. Okay, thank you, Representative Andrew Garrett, for joining us today. And for this, the next agenda item, we have Dan Miyamoto from the Department of Education, Adult Ed, who will provide the overview. And note that we're also taking a vote on this action as well. I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Dan, and you want to come here.
Right from here.
All right, you got a lot of voice. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Dan Miyamoto with the Hawaii Department of Education, Adult Education Family Literacy Act, that's Title II of WIOA. I'm here for Winston Sakurai, who's the state director for adult education. I'd like to give just a brief overview. All of the information regarding the agenda item is in your packet. This has to do with a definition called basic skills deficient, which is in WIOA. And this modification specifically impacts the adult education program the most. Currently, in the state plan, basic skills deficient is defined as a participant who can at the 8th grade level or below. The modification requests that the participant can test below the 12th grade level. And the purpose for this is to implement participation as well as, so there's 3 criteria for participation. One is not having a high school diploma. One is participation in an English language acquisition course, or third is basic skills deficient. And that definition in the federal regulation for basic skills deficient is very broad. And so they further in the federal regulation, it allows states to define it further. And so what the local service provider, which is the community school for adults, have found is that there are participants who have a credential, but they are still in need of services below the post-secondary level. And so what this definition does is allow a participant to have a high school credential, but if they test below the 12th grade, still be able to participate as an AFLA student. And right now, I'd like to turn over to Waipahu Community School for Adults for a short presentation to give the service provider perspective on this modification.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm going to just share, I like to have visual aids that go along with things that we talk about. And so I'm just going to share a brief presentation. We're going to keep it very brief for the sake of time. You know, everyone has a very busy agenda today. All right, there we go. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about adult education really quickly. As Dan mentioned, we are the Waipahu Community School for Adults is one of the schools that is the adult education provider along with McKinney Community School. And we primarily serve individuals 16 and over, or individuals that are functioning below the high school completion level. So our programs really emphasize improvement in reading, numeracy, language, English literacy, and skill development. And the focus is to transition individuals post-secondary. So back to employment, education, and training. And so it's very much in alignment with the spirit of WIOA. And we are part of the Hawaii Workforce Pathway System, and we have been for many years. And so the proposed definition is in the packet and here again on the slide, and we are requesting that the modification be to consider individuals 11th grade and below, or 11.9 and below. And the rationale for this, in part, is to open up the definition so that we can service more individuals. So according to the current draft, the 2024 draft that we have out, that we're looking for the unified state plan, it does read a youth or adult that is an individual unable to compute or solve problems, read, write, or speak English at a level necessary to function on the job, or individual, family, or society. So really the basic skill deficiency should be determined, and this is language from the Unified State Plan, determined by the individual's ability. And then I want to highlight based on their individual need and goals within this local FIOLA. So if an individual has a high school diploma, but they're functioning at the 9th grade level, and they're needing to get into a CDL program, we know the reading level required for that is what, 11th grade. Even though they've got the necessary credentials, they may not have the necessary functioning level. And so by increasing or expanding the definition to include individuals who are functioning below the 12th grade level, we can really service more individuals to help them accomplish their goals, depending on what their need is and depending on their functioning level. So the intent of WIOA is really to help individuals be more self-sufficient and contributing members of society. So really revising the language is to be more inclusive of individuals in our community and for us to help a wider range of participants to be able to serve our population more accurately. The recommended definition does clarify eligibility with the specific assessment scores. Those are the assessments that we use. All of the participants that come into our program, we are testing them to figure out where they're at. We're meeting with them to figure out where they want to go, and we're helping to fill the gap. So this proposed change will help us to fill a wider gap to really be able to serve our community in a way that makes education, training, and employment more accessible. So just more rationale for why this should be good, and why we want to consider expanding this. This is 2020 data, and this is pre-pandemic. We're kind of at the cusp of it, but this data was collected pre-pandemic, and this is of students tested in Hawaii. 82% of students took the ACT, and only 32% of them in reading and 25% of them in math. High school graduates met college and career ready standards. And so there are students who are coming through our programs, or adults in our community that have necessary credentials, but aren't necessarily meeting the career ready standards to be functioning in our society. About 1/3 of our students currently in adult education with diplomas are functioning at below the 11.9 level. So they would be currently ineligible for adult education services if this change isn't made. About 2/3 of states in their WIOA and Unified State Plans and other state plans, about 2/3 of them have a definition other than 8th grade. This is in alignment with majority of states in the continent. So we've been researching this for some time, and before we make any decisions that's going to impact adult education communities, we also reached out to quite a bit of our partners to get stakeholder feedback. And so this was some of the feedback that we wanted to share. Not going to go over all of these, but we wanted to know from them what those basic skill deficiencies look like in your agencies and in your communities. How do basic deficiencies impact organizations and the people that we serve? And then how do they define? And so what we weren't quite expecting, we were expecting individuals to feedback to come back and say that, yes, so-and-so, our participants aren't able to function in math, or they're not able to function and they don't have the reading skills. But interestingly, a lot of the feedback came back that was centered more around personal growth, like they don't have the confidence or they lack the self-esteem because they know that they're not functioning at the level that they need to be sufficient and self-sufficient. So outside of the academic, there's also the social emotional benefit to increasing the definition so that we can serve more people to get some upskills and reskills. And that's it. Okay, I think I did it.
Thank you. Let's stay here real quick. Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Pat, for the explanation of basic skills deficiency. For a second there, I thought it applied to me. I got this thing on my arm right now. Fell playing pickleball a month or so, broke it. So very dangerous sport, mind you. Any questions for Dan or Pat by the members of the group? If not, we'll proceed to the vote.
Quick question.
Yes, David.
If we broaden the definition above the 8th grade level, what happens to those below 8th grade? Are we broadened it because we've already serviced that community, or we just need to widen?
Wider net. We're still going to service as always 8th grade and below. It just allows us a wider net to be able to service individuals that are at 9 and 11.
And just add to that too, that currently the enrollment for the adult program is about 3,400 or so. The pre-pandemic, it was up to 7,000. So we still have, room, I think, for capacity, and the schools have capacity.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? We'll do that. Okay. Let's see, I need a motion to approve first.
I move for the adoption of the definition as presented.
Thank you, Leslie. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Leon. Are there any amendments or discussion? Okay, are there any members wishing to vote no or abstain? Hearing none, let's go ahead and all in favor, please say aye or raise your hand. Thank you. That was a unanimous vote. Okay, the next item here in your agenda was to be a presentation from our board member and share the Military and Veterans Affairs Committee from alone. Fran has been called to do mommy duties for her 5th grade daughter who's giving a speech at this very hour. Congratulations to Fran, yes. So we'll postpone her presentation until the August meeting. Okay, so moving on. As we've adopted here, I think at the last board meeting, actually several board meetings, we have shortened the duration of our board meetings from 3 hours to 2 hours. And so for the next items on the agenda, I will state the written reports received. If you have any questions specific to, or we can address the question at that time. So the first set of reports are from our Wheel of 4 partners. And in your packet, they start on pages 109 to 129. We have reports from the following. Title 1 and Title 3, Workforce Development Division from Maricar to Open Freighted. Flip through that real quick. Next is Title 2, Adult Education and Career Pathways from Winston Sakurai. Title 4, Division of Vocational Rehabilitation from Leah Diaz. Okay, are there any questions regarding these reports? Okay, next set of written reports from the standing committees for the period of February 15 to May 30th, 2024. And these reports start on pages 120 to 146. Oh, we killed a few trees today, huh?
Good information, though.
Good information, that's right. I haven't adopted the completely paperless, yeah. Okay, for the first set of reports we have from the Employer Engagement Committee, Vice Chair Derek Kanehira. Sector Strategies and Career Pathways Committee, Chair Carrie Miyashiro and Vice Chair Lauren Wu. Military and Veterans Affairs Committee, Chair Trong Malone and Vice Chair Cheryl Cross. Special Projects Committee, Chair Keith Mello, Vice Chair Dion Dizon. How do you pronounce that? Dizon. Thank you. Okay. Finally, Youth Services Committee, Chair Tui Scanlon and Vice Chair Carla Furukawa. Thank you all for this, the committee chairs for your work and leadership. Okay, are there any questions for the committee chairs? Okay, if not, we'll move to the next set of reports, which are the written reports from each county's Workforce Development Board. The final set of reports are from our local county Workforce Development Boards from February 16th to May 30th, 2024. This information starts on pages 147 and run through 156. We have received reports from the following. Oahu County Chair Jason Chang and Executive Director Arsen Kuranishi. Hawaii County Chair Rosella Gadarsian and Executive Director Sherry Pato. Oh, I'm sorry, Clinton Mercado. Yep, taking Sherry's place. Correct, thank you. And finally, Maui County Chair Leslie Wilkins and Executive Director Chantel Rolla. Okay, are there any questions on these reports? Okay, we've come to the announcements and public testimony. At this time, I would like to open the floor for the announcements and public testimony. Anyone may have. Give it a second here. Feel free to your mic. I don't think we have everyone's video on the. Oh, yes.
This occurred to me that at the beginning of the meeting, we did not have the attendance in the room here. We did not take note of who are the guests, so can you do that for minutes purposes?
Sure, thank you for that. For attendance purposes, I think we missed some of the people there in the back. If you could please identify yourself. We'll go in this first table here. Wes, with that? Go ahead and then we'll just move to the back there.
Oh yeah, Wes Ramos. I'm IT technician.
Thank you, Wes, and thank you for your help with the IT. Yes, sir.
Anton Crockett, I'm the Director of Department of Community Services for the City and County of Honolulu.
Thank you for joining us, Anton.
Mayor Carpilliton Freitas.
Mary Clark, good to see you again. I think Pat, you've been introduced. Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. Pat, I'm here as a principal for the White Mountain Community.
Thank you, Pat.
I'm Jonathan Sakurai, Vice Principal for White Mountain Campus for White Mountain Community Super Adults.
Thank you, Jonathan. Harrison, we've heard from you.
Harrison, Karanishi, Oahu Workforce Development Board. Davin Kalmar, also from Oahu.
Thank you, Davin and Katrina. Okay, and did I miss anyone either? Oh, Adam, well, you didn't get a chance to introduce yourself, but please go ahead.
Adam.
Thank you, Adam, thanks for coming. I think we also have one more gentleman in the back there. Please introduce yourself. IT, yes, okay. Okay, did anyone else join that hasn't been recognized remotely?
Aloha, my name is Neva Supe-Rogue. I'm at Windward Community College. I'm a workforce program coordinator.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think we have everyone identified. Our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, August 22nd, date 9:30 to 11:30. And the agenda, look at the agenda, will be posted and disseminated online well in advance. Wow, this is faster than we thought. It was a huge amount of information we went through. Again, thank you all very much for joining today, for your participation. Pleasure to see everybody and be safe out there. Avoid the pickleball courts. So we are closing the meeting at 10:41 this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Aloha.
That is good.